Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters video. I thought I would mix in another lumberjack cryptid here while I'm continuing to do your new suggestions. Please keep them coming. I'm going to be doing a few more throughout the next couple of days/weeks, and then I'll wrap things up. I wanted to do another one of these lumberjack cryptids here because I still enjoy doing them, and they're very fun, and there are a lot of interesting information associated with them. This one was just a random one that I found online that I felt still merited posting here, even though there's very little information associated with it. In fact, even with that info, I was thinking to myself, it may not even be a lumberjack cryptid or a fearsome critter, but it is still listed as such, so I'm going to go ahead and include it within this playlist. It does have a very unique name, one that has a lot of mystery associated with it too. More on that here in just a minute, but it's known as the Jimplecute. So let's go ahead and let's talk about this lumberjack cryptid here. Those of you that are there from a certain area that I'll mention in just a moment, I'll be able to see if maybe you might have some more information associated with it too. But let's go ahead and let's talk about it here. So what is this Jimplecute, or Jimplecute, I'm sorry. Again, it's a fearsome critter / lumberjack cryptid that somehow along the way during the frontier days ended up having an existence of sorts. Unfortunately, again, there's very little info associated with it. First, I'll talk about the actual physical characteristics, at least what there is of it. The reason why it's considered so little is because it has such very few encounters, and even those are considered very ambiguous. And this is because this is a creature that is almost considered a phantom of sorts. Like it's almost like it's there, but it's not at the same time. I imagine it's one of those situations where people are second guessing themselves, even wondering if they saw something along these lines. But if you do happen to catch a sight of it, or at least a glimpse, the Jimplecute is supposed to resemble a prehistoric monster. In fact, this is the actual closest representation that I could find of it here, and this is pretty much it. So it looks like some kind of old lizard, something along those lines, and it may or may not have multiple tails. It may or may not have multiple limbs as well. And again, it seems to have something associated with it being a monster, so it could have a longer tongue, some teeth, something along those lines. In fact, one of the descriptions associated with it was a sort of dragon or some such animal with several tails, many legs, and then other type of attributes. Where this Jimplecute name comes from, though, is still a little bit of mystery. Again, more on that in just one moment, but otherwise, those are at least the physical characteristics associated with it. It does have one interesting characteristic, though, as far as what it does. It hunts people, particularly travelers. They're on lonely moonlit roads for one reason. It's almost like a vampire. It basically uses its mouth to its body to lunge at people, and then it uses its mouth to seize them right there by the jugular, just like any other common notion associated with a vampire would. And then it starts to drain their blood / fluids pretty much right then and there. And then it does it all the way until it's 100% full. I'm pretty sure at that point the person will just be either passed out or most likely dead as well. So if you happen to have the misfortune linked to being running into one of these things, as far as this Jimplecute, watch out, protect your neck at all times, because this is going to be a creature that again is going to go right after it and then try to get something associated with blood / fluids and any food that it makes up for it afterwards with whatever's left of your body. Now, as far as its physical location, it's one area, apparently there in Arkansas, particularly South Arkansas. So those of you that are there somewhere in that location, if you know more again on the local side, let me know. There may be the one other spot that it's associated with, and that has to do with Jefferson, Texas. So not Arkansas in this case, case, but instead it's Jefferson, Texas. This is why apparently there was an independent newspaper, maybe even a newsletter there, that was called the Jefferson Jimplecute, again named after this cryptid, or at least that's the thought. Almost there have been several queries as to why this is. I mean, it seems like it's a pretty unique name as is. Why would there be randomly just a newspaper suddenly titled with the name of this cryptid? And so several people asked, and then they were able to send letters, and then they were able to try to reach, I guess, whoever the owner was or author associated with many of those sections. But a lot of it still remain unanswered when it comes to its existence, why it was linked to the cryptid. Instead, the most common theory, or whatever had came out of the information of the authors, and then whoever was able to give something as a hint, stated that it had to do with this. Apparently, there's a notion called scroll work, which is that fancy type of drawing mishmash of things that goes on circuses. Like, this is an example of it here. So if you see this type of design on any circuses, that's essentially what it's called. And then apparently that's linked to the Jimplecute as well. I'm still scratching my head like how that is. How did something involving circuses get matched to something involving a newspaper, which in turn gets linked to something involving a fearsome critter? Like, I'm still scratching my head on it and wondering how that works, but that's apparently the closest thing associated with this type of, I don't know, this type of link. And the only other thing I could find was this. You're looking at it here. This is again in Jefferson, Texas. It seems like Jimplecute is more along the lines of an acronym. It's joint industry, manufacturing, planting, labor, and then energy capital, and then that's supposed to mean Jimplecute. So I think that's more along the lines of what it truly signifies, as opposed to it being something along the lines of a cryptid. I just think that afterward, maybe that newsletter / newspaper was just being coy about things, and they didn't really answer much, just because it would bring more publicity to them. Maybe somebody thought, why is this Jimplecute being linked in terms of a cryptid to this newspaper? And that brought more attention. And so why would they squash something like that, right? But at least that's most of the information that I could find associated with the Jimplecute and the name linked to it. I still don't know exactly why it's called the Jimplecute to begin with. There's nothing that seems to indicate that name with regards to the cryptid. You know how a lot of the other fearsome critters out there, like the hide behind and others, have a specific name because of something that they do. I have no idea what Jimple means, and then cute obviously is supposed to mean that it's something along the lines of adorable, but anything like this involving a monster, a phantom / monster that looks like a dragon of some kind, I don't think it's anything cute along those lines. But let me know. Maybe there's something else that's a link that I'm just not finding. And if anybody has any more info on that, then please post those comments below. All right, everybody. That's pretty much it. Again, short and sweet when it comes to this fearsome critter. But if anybody has any other information, please post it in the comments. All right, everybody. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.